Welcome to Be Well. I'm Lisa Burgaw, pharmacist, yoga teacher, and health coach. Each week, we'll explore simple, science-informed ways for us to move better, feel more resilient, and feel more at home in our bodies. From breath work and strength training to sleep, hormones, and healthy habits, we're here to help you age well and truly thrive, one small step at a time. This is Be Well.
Hi, am I ready? Hi, I'm Lisa Burgaw from Zen and Now, and this is Be Well. Welcome. I'm here with my friend Ann Dagle of the Ann Dagle Foundation, Brian's Healing Hearts, and they're a grief support center in Niantic, Connecticut, and they do really wonderful things for our community. And I'm going to let Ann introduce herself and explain a little bit more about the foundation. I do want to share that they just had a phenomenal, really fun event as one of their main fundraisers, right? Last weekend, the Jingle 5K, the Niantic Jingle 5K, with a record number of participants. And it was really fun. It was great.
Was a lot of
it was
fun.
Great.
The weather held up, yes. So hello, I'm Ann Dagle. I'm with the Ann Dagle Foundation and Brian's Healing Hearts Center for Hope and Healing in Niantic, where we offer grief support for any adult grieving the loss of a loved one, as well as we do a lot of community education on mental health and suicide awareness, as well as grief education now is really becoming important to us, as well as we try and educate professionals on how to support others who are grieving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's such a timely topic too. You know, we're going into the holidays, and I know that these shows will be seen on repeat again in the future, but we are going right into the holiday season right now. We're just finishing Hanukkah and going into Christmas and the New Year. And I feel like it's a challenging time for a lot of people, and so I would love to have, you know, your insight on how you can help people navigate grief through the holidays.
Absolutely. It's a very tough time. It's hard times when people are grieving during the holidays. They're missing that special someone or persons in their life, and they wonder how they can get through it. I mean, I recently just got a text from somebody who said, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Yeah. How can I get through it? And really, everybody's going to do it differently. Yeah. Some people will rely on their traditions and put up their tree, have their family gatherings, attend family gatherings, but all the while putting a mask on to do it, and that's exhausting. Yeah. Others will say, nope, I can't do that anymore. I have to do something completely different. Mm-hmm. I know some people who leave the country and go on vacation.
I was just going to say, I have a friend who's doing that for the holidays, going off to the islands. Yep.
Yep, they leave the country and then they kind of skip over the whole season, which is okay for them if that's how they're going to get through it. Yeah. Others kind of find their own way and navigate it as they go on. Yeah. And we know there's no right or wrong way to do it.
There really isn't. There really isn't. And I think it's important too to know there's no competition in grief. You know, like my grief is not harder or less hard or better or worse than anybody else's, and that if you're feeling sad, it's a normal thing and it's okay to feel sad, and you don't have to be happy, happy, joy, joy all holiday, you know, and it's okay to have happiness and joy during the holiday season and still be grieving.
Yes, and that's an important thing for people to know. You can hold joy and grief at the same time. Yeah. You learn to do that. I think of it, grief almost as a muscle that we have to work and build and get stronger with our grief, because we know grief is never going to go away. Right. It stays with us forever. Sometimes it gets a little softer, but if we can work that muscle and understand where we need to navigate and what we need to do with it, and what's best for us is most important.
Right.
So people have to really listen to themselves, listen to their heart, and wonder how they're going to get through these holidays. Like this person asked me, like, well, listen to yourself, and for the first time in your life you may have to just take care of yourself.
Right. And also maybe if it's a new loss, you know, especially going up into the holiday season, it's a new loss and you're still really navigating, and you just don't even know where to start. No. And so we were talking about this off air right before, and sometimes you don't know what to say to someone when they've lost somebody, and perhaps not saying something like, well, tell me what you need, because they just can't. So what would you recommend?
So if people say, what can I do to help my friend who just lost somebody in their life? Do the basic things, whether it's going grocery shopping for them, buying them basic necessities, walking their dog, mowing their lawn, shoveling their driveway if they need that. Just basic, just show up.
Just show up.
Just show up. And if you have to leave something on the doorstep, that's okay.
And you don't have to ask permission. You can just do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because as you said, we don't know what we need when we're grieving.
No. No, and when people ask you, how can I help you? What do you need? And you're like, I don't even know. And you're not going to tell them anything.
No.
Or you don't want to bother anybody.
Right.
Yeah, so I think you're right, just showing up. One of the best things somebody did for me, 2 people did this actually, when my sister passed. They gave me blankets and a really sweet note that said, I'm going to cry, that said, I hope when you snuggle up with this blanket, it brings you comforting memories.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I know. So that's what I've done for some people is I've given them a blanket and passed that note along, kind of just. So I think what's worked for you in the past, maybe what made you feel better, then you can pass that along too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What was best for me is I had a dear friend who showed up at my house when I lost my son, and she stayed there. I mean, she went home, but she was my gatekeeper.
Yeah.
She would answer the door, she would answer the phone, she would say, yes, Ann can see you, no, Ann can't see you. She would take in the food, do all that, organize things in the house for me. So she was amazing. That was the best gift somebody could give to me.
That is really, really wonderful.
Yes.
That's really wonderful. Let's talk about Brian.
Okay.
And how the foundation started.
So the foundation started in 2014. We lost Brian in 2011. He was 19 years old. And we lost Brian to suicide. He was a college student. He was away at college, and he always had a smile on his face. But he was struggling, and we knew he was struggling when he was in high school. But we thought back then in 2011, we didn't talk about our mental health. We didn't talk about depression and anxiety like we do now. Right. Thank goodness we do now. Yeah. So I didn't have the language to talk to him. He didn't know what was going on with him. Right. He went to college and did really well in college. Transitioned, made great friends, but he was still struggling. And so in November of 2011, we lost him. And so a couple years, I hibernated. I did what I needed to do to take care of myself. I found a support group. I found other parents like me who had lost children. And that really was the thoughts that helped me start the foundation. So I didn't want anybody to be alone in their grief, and they became my lifeline. Like if they can get through it, I can get through it. Right. So fast forward to 2014, and we started the Brian Dagle Foundation, not knowing what we were doing, and here we are in 2026, and it's flourishing.
I love to watch this grow. So. And not everybody remembers this or would know this. So you started the foundation in your home.
I did.
And then you started seeing people in group settings. And they actually came into the studio at Zen Now, and we had a room that she would see her groups in. And then lots of fundraising. You were able to purchase the land the home down in Niantic on Main Street. Yes. And now you have this beautiful center, and it just keeps growing.
It does.
And there's been a lot of exciting things happening there too. You've renovated the garage and that beautiful new space and your gazebo. Do you want to talk a little bit about the foundation?
What we did, and I think really, is we just filled a need for so many people who are grieving. So we have probably a dozen groups going on. More than 120 plus people coming through our doors every month to our support groups. And some of our support groups range from 10 people to 16 people, sometimes even a little bit more than that. So our space that we have inside the house, a beautiful old Victorian where people come into the kitchen, into the living room, got a little crowded in the living room. So we then renovated our garage into the cottage at Brian's Healing Hearts. And it's a big open space that we can accommodate more people for not only our support groups, but for our grief education, for other trainings, for sometimes we'll do yoga out there and other healing modalities out there. So it's beautiful.
You do some really wonderful things. I taught yoga for she does a Mother's Day retreat, which is really beautiful. And that's when I got to see the cottage the first time. It really is beautiful. So we mentioned the Jingle run briefly. Tell us how that started. Because that's a really fun run.
It's a lot of fun.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and people keep showing up even though it's freezing.
Yes, it does. So a lot of the things with the foundation, as far as financing and fundraising and all of that, fell into our lap.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really did. We did some fundraising on our own, but a lot of things fell into our lap, especially the Jingle 5K. So I was a trainer, I was a fitness trainer, working at a gym in Niantic, and the owner said to me, Ann, I have some clients who do 5Ks, they do marathons, and they want to do a charity run. Do you think you want to do that? And that's in 2014 when we just started the foundation. So they helped us start the foundation, start the run for the first few years. And then we just took it over. We have a fabulous committee that everybody has their own jobs. We do fundraising, we do sponsorships. This year we raised $50,000 just in sponsorships alone.
That's amazing.
So it's beautiful. And
you had a record number of participants this
we
year.
did. We had the total record number of registrants was, I think, 1,767.
It's amazing.
So yes, beautiful day, a lot of fun. People dressed in their costumes. You saw all the costumes.
Yeah.
Santas, Grinches, all those blow-up costumes that people are running in.
Yes. So funny. And there was one woman who I thought was so sweet. She was dressed like a Christmas tree, and she had ornaments like bulbs all over it for people to come up and write their loved one's name that they were missing. So I thought that was really, really sweet.
Yeah, she's a lady from one of our groups.
Oh, I love that.
So she knows what it is, and we just want to say their name at Christmas time, at the holidays, anytime. We want to say our loved one's name.
Yeah. It is so important to remember them and to create your own traditions, how you remember them. And it might change. We were talking about that a little before, how, I was saying my father died on the 4th of July. And so sometimes the 4th of July is really hard for me, and other times it's a fun summer day. So it's not like an anniversary of a specific year. It's not like the 10th or the 20th or whatever. It's just random. And so you just don't know. And it swings, it comes and goes, and there's all those stages of grief. So we're so grateful to have you and your groups. Can you tell more about all the different types of groups? Because I know the foundation really started for suicide awareness, prevention, and I know you still do a lot with that, and you do a lot with providing speakers and education to the schools, to the students, to the teachers. And now healthcare workers, you're saying too, So, but it's grown so much, and it's really morphed into all grief.
Yes.
So can you tell us about some of the other groups that you have?
So we're trying to incorporate as much as we can, and we found that the more specific the support group is, the better it is for the individual to connect with others who are going through the same type of loss. So for instance, we have loss of a spouse. That is for anybody who has lost a spouse or partner to a disease or to an illness or to a car accident. That's our biggest population. We have 2 groups specific for that, a morning group and an evening group. And they're lovely, lovely. They're so connected. They'll go out for lunch afterwards. They take each other to doctor's appointments. They become really a beautiful community. We also have just a men's only group.
Okay.
And that's really beginning to take off. That's once a month there's one tonight on a Tuesday night, men's only. We do a young adult group, which we have a pretty wide range when we call it young adult. Anyone from in their early 20s and to their early 40s. And that's a big population that we're seeing increase, whether you've lost a spouse, unfortunately at a very young age, or you lost a sibling or a parent. They know how to talk to each other, and they really understand what each other is going through. We also have the Lost to Suicide group. We have a specific group for people who've lost a partner or a spouse to suicide. And that's really, unfortunately, but I also say fortunately, people are finding where we are. We also have lost to substance misuse. And then a new group that we started this year was loss of a pregnancy or infant loss.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, it's so important that
so
people, that is not talked about
and not talk about, right.
No, and that really hasn't done a lot yet, but as we found with the other groups, just we hold them. Whoever comes needs to come. If it's one person, then they need to be there, right? So it's really important. So we have, that's a loss that nobody talks about. They're afraid to talk about, or people say things to someone who's lost a pregnancy that they should not say.
And some people, I know people that have held it a secret that they were pregnant until they were 6 months along because they were afraid. And I've had other people that friends have said, day one they found out they were pregnant and they told everybody. And so you never know about that. And I had one friend say, well, if I do lose the baby, I'd want support.
Yes.
And other people suffer silently. So I think that's nice to have that conversation and let people know that they do have support. And also, is it ever too soon to start? Because I'm going to share my brother-in-law's story.
Okay.
My sister passed away. She was 50. He was 50. And he umpires and he referees. And I was going to recommend that he come to one of the groups, but I didn't know when. I didn't want it to be too soon, or when do you even offer that up? And fortunately, one of his friends had recommended it right away. He had lost his wife, and he said, don't wait, just start now. And I'm so glad that he did, because I think it really helped him a lot.
It does help a lot, especially in the beginning. We have people come at different times.
Yeah.
There's some people who come right away, others who will wait and maybe come on the year death date, the anniversary date. They think they're doing okay. All of a sudden that date happens and they need support.
Yeah.
We have other people come even sometimes years later.
Right.
But the important thing to understand is as long as you get the support that you need.
Yeah.
And one thing that people don't understand with grief is there's a difference between grief and mourning. Right? So grief is all of our thoughts, feelings, emotions with our loved one that we keep inside of us. Think of it putting all your grief in a jar and closing the lid on the jar, so everything stays in there.
Yeah.
Mourning is taking that jar and emptying it out and doing active things to mourn.
Right.
Mourning is an active process, and that truly helps us begin to heal. It's doing celebrations of life, doing memorial services. It's celebrating them a year later. It's talking about them at the holidays, looking at pictures. So mourning is really important that we're able to do.
Right.
I have a woman who now she's a facilitator for one of our groups, the bereaved parents group. Every year on her daughter's birthday, she invites all her daughter's friends, and they have a birthday party.
That's
right?
sweet.
So that's how she continues to mourn, but yet at the same time keep her daughter's memory alive and keep her part of them.
Yeah. And again, there's no right or wrong. So, and someone else might be very uncomfortable having her friends over.
Yes.
So however it's going to work for you is okay.
Absolutely. And you have to find your own way.
Yeah.
And really, I encourage people to listen to their heart with that, because your heart will tell you. Your brain sometimes will say something else. And don't listen to other people. I mean, one of the important things that we do in group is every time we do a support group, whether you're there the first time or the 50th time, we do guidelines.
Okay.
Right? So everybody knows where we're at. And one of the guidelines is that we don't give advice.
Okay.
Because nobody can tell you what to do with your grief, because they don't know your grief. People will sometimes say to me, Ann, you're the grief expert. I'm like, no, I am not. I'm an expert in my own grief, but I'm not an expert in anyone else's grief. They have to follow what is best for them. And we learn in group, whether I have 15 people in there and everybody's going to do it differently.
Yeah.
So grief is as unique as our fingerprint.
It really is. I think it's great too that they can talk with each other and maybe get ideas that they didn't think about.
Sure.
And a way for them to help mourn and to move through the grieving process.
Yes, that's a lot of our conversation during group, is people say, well, I have a question for you guys. I want to pose this and let me know what you did.
Yeah.
So they can share with what they did and what worked for them, and somebody can try it, and maybe it works. I hope it does, right? And maybe not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they have people they can bounce ideas off
I love
of.
that. It's really sweet. It's really sweet. And so we talked about the Jingle run, and then you also have a lacrosse, is it a whole tournament?
It's actually, it's called Lax to Live. Brian was a lacrosse player in high school. He loved the game. He wasn't the strongest player. He was kind of small for his age, but he had a lot of spirit. So we have Lax to Live. And what we do is we reach out to high schools. It's over 10 years old, we've been doing it now. We reach out to the high schools, most of them local, some of them colleges now that we do. And they host a Lax to Live game.
Nice.
So when they're hosting the game, we created special T-shirts for the kids to wear, and we see those T-shirts now all over the place.
Oh, that's so sweet.
The Lax to Live T-shirts. And so with the T-shirts, they'll wear them to school the day before or the day of the game, and that starts a conversation with the kids. What's this all about? Why are you wearing this shirt? And the school will make an announcement talking about, today we're hosting a Lax to Live game, and this is what it's all about, taking care of your mental health. Letting others know that it's okay not to be okay sometimes. It's okay to ask for help and to have this conversation, normalizing the conversation on mental health.
I love that you do that.
So we have, last year we did over 30 games, over 1,000 kids that we touched with the games between local games and then the colleges.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really getting bigger.
It's gone a lot bigger. And now we have ambassadors. We ask the schools, the coaches to give us ambassadors. And so the ambassadors, that's their job, is to help organize the lacrosse game, as well as they come to us and we give them a training on mental health and suicide awareness. So they know how to help their peers.
I love that. And I've been able to be a guest or in the audience when you've had some of the other presenters that you've had come talk to the different schools in the area. So you do bring in some really great speakers and really trying to break down stigma about mental health. And I just think just opening the discussion. You've got open ears and an open heart, and you're just so welcoming.
What I find now with, especially when we're talking to adults as well, they're ready for the conversation, right? Especially our kids, because they're having that conversation already. So I teach a specific program on suicide prevention, and it's QPR. So QPR is basically a mental health training similar to a CPR.
Oh.
So Q means question. You question somebody if they're thinking about hurting themselves, which is not easy to do.
Right.
You persuade them to get help, and then you refer them to get help. Good. So QPR is a CPR for our mental health. So it's a 90-minute training for any person, any lay person. We do it a lot in our school systems. We do it, I did it at businesses. I do it community education locally in East Lyme and other places. So whatever towns will allow us to do it. To normalize the conversation.
It's so important. It's so important. And so as we move into the holidays, what are some things that you've done? I know you put a beautiful statue at McCook's. Can you talk about that gorgeous statue and the dog?
So we have a beautiful statue in McCook's, and honestly, that wasn't, when I put that in there, I had seen other statues at McCook's Park, and we wanted something where the kids could go, where Brian's friends could go. There we go. Brian's friends could go, and every year we put the red scarf around it. And it's for the kids, for everybody, and it's just a boy and a golden retriever. We always had golden retrievers for my kids growing up. And that's really how our logo came to be, is that the branding, they used the little boy and the golden retriever now with our logo, and so it's beautiful.
Well, there it is. Yeah.
There it is, yes, the little boy and the dog. So, yes, so Brian loved his dogs, and that came from an image that I had that someone had taken a picture of him at his high school prom, that he was sitting on the deck with his arms around both his dogs.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, there's always you can honor your people, you know.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any no right, no wrong, and it'll be different. It'll be totally different, even within the same family. Like my family, you know, we all do different things. I have pictures of my sister everywhere, all over the place. She's on my watch, you know. She's all over the place, and I love to see it. It makes me smile. It makes me happy, and other people will see it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sad," you know. So it's whatever brings you peace.
You know, in our, as I said, in our support group, everybody is so different. We have a gentleman who does have pictures everywhere, and then we have a dad still, he's not ready to look at the pictures. And that's okay. Another one of our guidelines is there's no judgment. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You have to do what's best for you. And so, especially at the holidays, because emotions run a little bit higher, or a little bit deeper, I guess, during the holiday season. So whatever's going to work for you. You know, some people will. It took me, honestly, about 5 years before I put up a Christmas tree.
Really?
Yes. So, and thankfully nobody pressured me to do it. I was able to just do Christmas the way that I could do it, which wasn't much. But now, you know, I have a beautiful Christmas tree, and we celebrate and honor Brian Till. So it's beautiful.
And it'll wax and wane.
It does.
And there'll be new traditions, and you'll pull some other stuff back. My sister and I used to do a cookie swap, and one of her friends sent me, she always made these delicious pumpkin cookies, her friend. And she goes, every year I make these, and I always think of our cookie swaps when your sister was here. And so she sent me a picture of those. And so those are just little things. And that made my day. You know, I love that.
You love to eat,
So when people are thinking about your people, and they let you know that, right?
One thing we do also around the holidays is we have a service, a non-denominational service over at the chapel at College at Harkness Chapel.
Oh, nice.
And it's just a candle lighting ceremony. It's a short but very sweet ceremony where they'll give us the name of their loved one, and then we call them up, and then they light a candle in honor of them, and they get to hear their person's name.
That's so special.
And it's very important for people to hear that. Yeah, or to hear stories about them, right?
Yeah, I think the stories are so helpful.
Yes.
They're really helpful. And I think I had a friend, I've had several friends that died from my high school class, but one of them, her mom, I love that she did this. She said, please always come talk to me. Always say hi to me if you see me. Because people would not know what to say to her and they would walk by her. And so I still do. And I love her a lot and I still see her. And I'm so glad she said that to me because I was 18. I would not have known, you know.
Right.
And so I think it's important to tell your stories and remember the way you do. And
Absolutely.
you know, if you do it from your heart, you're not going to offend somebody if you say, I loved your person.
One of our big part of our healing is telling our story. And we have to, early on someone said, Ann, you have to tell your story. So that's why we come into a support group, and twice a month we sit around our circle and say our person's name, how they passed, and all about them. And we repeat it over and over and over again. So I know with me, telling my story has helped me so much in my healing journey.
Right.
Yeah. And it's important that others hear that story too.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, have a relationship with them who lost a loved one. It's so important for them.
I think it's nice to know that you're not alone, and it may be a different journey that person's on. Their grief is different than yours, but there's similarities, so you don't feel so alone.
Yes.
And that's why I think your group and your foundation is just so wonderful, because it's special. There's not many facilities like this.
There's not.
Anywhere.
No.
Anywhere.
We have people coming from Rhode Island, from the other side of Connecticut to come to our groups because there aren't any, and it's really hard for people. And they don't, so we're trying to get better. I'm working with a couple organizations to build up our base of grief support groups for people because they need it. I think prior to COVID, there were probably a little bit more, but since then, no one has started them up again.
Well, I work for hospice as a pharmacist, and we used to have a big grief support group, and things have changed. You know, we've changed management and whatever, and then COVID hit, and so the grief support groups have really changed, and we refer to you.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
And so how do people find you and find out more about you? Where are you on social media and your website information? I think we've been putting your website up on the
so brianshealinghearts.org, that is our website, and then we do Facebook, and we do Instagram. I think once in a while we'll do Twitter. So yes, and I'm on LinkedIn too. People find me on LinkedIn. So go to our website, go to our social media. We do a lot of posting. Social media includes a lot of our things that are going on during the year for our support groups and for our special events that we do.
Great. And are you looking for volunteers?
We are always looking for volunteers. Yes, thank you. So we run, all of our support groups are free, so we don't charge anything for it. So we like volunteers at some of our fundraising events. We had a big group with them at the Jingle, which helped us a lot. But
you needed them because it was really busy. There were so many people signing up that morning.
There were.
Yeah.
There were. Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people there that day. So fun though. By 11:30, we were out of there, cleaned up and all done.
So many helpers. That's great.
Yes, because we had so many volunteers.
Many hands make light work.
So we have a beautiful garden at Brian's Healing Hearts as well, our healing garden. And so we need, every spring, we need people to help us do our mulching and get it ready. And then every fall, cleaning it up. This year we had volunteers help us plant close to 1,000 daffodils.
Nice.
So next spring those daffodils will come up and they're beautiful. But the volunteers love it, and it helps them and their healing, and
it's grounding. You're literally in the dirt. You're literally in the ground. Yeah.
We had volunteers who helped us decorate this year for Christmas, so it's beautiful. They love to give back. They help out at our tabling events when we're asked to be at an event, and they feel like they're doing something in honor of their person.
And you've told me before that there's been people who've been part of a group, an active part of a group, and then they've gotten past a point where they felt that they needed to come all the time, but then they've come back in a different role.
They come back to, all of our facilitators are volunteers.
Yeah.
So many of our facilitators were sitting in the seats as somebody who has come as an attendee who is grieving.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of years, they're beginning to heal and they want to give back. So we do a training program for them and they become our facilitators.
That's
and they
amazing.
give back to us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. And we have people who give back to us in so many different ways, whether they run their own fundraising event and then give all the proceeds to us.
You were just telling me about one of those.
Yeah,
groups.
so it'll be coming up in February. It's the pool tournament,
So
Nick
fun.
Malley pool tournament out in Lebanon. Every year they do it for Nick, and it's beautiful. Karen and her husband, Wayne, they do it for Nick, and it's beautiful.
That's so wonderful.
And the love that you see there is amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
But that's part of the healing too, is they're keeping Nick alive, and they're talking about him, and his friends are coming, and they're honoring him.
And I think it gives people something to do, you know, like you're doing something fun, like the Jingle Run or the lacrosse games. You're doing something that you enjoy doing, and it's fun, and it's okay to have fun and grieve at the same time.
Yes.
And I think that's where people may feel a little confused maybe during the holidays or any time, you know, like, I'm feeling good, but I'm not supposed to feel happy right now, right?
They feel guilty for feeling good.
Right.
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 But it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. I learned, and I don't like the word acceptance,
Right.
but I like the word surrender.
Yeah.
So I would surrender to whatever I was feeling, whether it was the grief and the sadness and missing my son, or if it was joy and happiness, I'd take that and try and go with it,
Yeah.
because that didn't come that often. But again, going back to that grief muscle, right? Once you allow yourself to feel those emotions of happiness and joy, it will be easier to bring it back into your life.
And I feel like in our culture, we're not supposed to be sad. We're always supposed to be happy and joyful. And I'm a pretty upbeat person in general, right? So, but I can get crabby and I can get sad. And I feel like it's easier now because I know more.
Sure.
But I didn't before. And so you put on this happy face all the time and maybe you don't want to feel happy all the time. And that's normal.
That's
like
so
we're
normal.
human beings. We have all the emotions and it's okay to feel all of the emotions.
You have to
right?
acknowledge exactly what you're
Yeah.
feeling when you're feeling it.
Yeah.
And to be sad, and you know, people say, how are you doing? And what's your answer? I'm good, I'm okay.
Always, yeah.
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 No, but what if you said, you know what, I'm really having a tough day.
Yeah.
I'm missing my sister today, and it's
Yeah.
really difficult for me right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
That's okay to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
You have to be honest with everybody. They may not like it. They may never ask you how you're doing again, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you share something honest like that, just the way you said it was, I would come back to you again and ask you about who was making you sad that day,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes.
And again, I would have language for it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what it is. That's why we do a lot of the education, is to teach people how to support themselves, how to support others.
Right.
Yeah.
And you really just don't know what to say. So I think when you find something, like I took notes. That was really good. I'm going to remember that. Like somebody said to me, and it was by text. And it was someone I didn't really know that well at that point when my sister passed. But he said, I would love to just lend an ear anytime you want to tell me stories about your sister.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
That was such a great thing to say.
People, I would meet people and like, so tell me about Brian.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course I'll tell you about Brian. So we just want to talk about them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it might be hard to for some people, or it's hard to in the beginning, and that's okay too. You can say, not today, not ready, or whatever.
Right.
You're
Right.
allowed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be honest with yourself.
Yep. Yeah. And you did tell me too that, because we were talking about people being far away, you do have a group or a few that you sometimes will do remote.
Yes, we have a virtual group that meets twice a month.
I love that.
So that's our family and friends group, and people from all over can join it. And that's a group for people who have lost family and friends.
Yeah.
So whether it's a parent or a sibling, or maybe they live too far to drive to us, they can join that group.
That's wonderful.
Yes, it's important that you talk about it. And the group is lovely, and they connect virtually, and they know each other, and
That's so good.
so they're able to share.
That's so good. All right. So tell us again, what's coming up next? What's your next fun?
So the next-
You need a break now.
Yes,
after
we
that,
are taking a break. We are going to be closed from tomorrow, Christmas Eve, through January 5th.
Oh, good.
So we are going to be closed to give ourselves a little bit of break, but then back to our support groups, back to grief education, back to all of the things that we do. But go onto our website again at brianshealinghearts.org.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I really appreciate your opening up. I appreciate you so much over the years. I don't know if you'll ever know how much I appreciate
thank you.
And the healing that you do in the midst of your grief, I've been able to witness, and I think that it's brave and you're powerful, and it's a gift. And it's a gift that you're giving to others. So I hope that you get to heal through it too, and know that you're supported as well, because you support all of us. So I just want you to know that you're very well supported, and the foundation is phenomenal. So if you are looking to make donations or you're looking to volunteer, go to brianshealinghearts.org and get involved. Or if you need to talk about your loved ones,
Thank you.
join a group.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann, so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And thank you for joining Be Well. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And cherish your loved ones and make your memories and do it your way. I know there's no wrong way.
Thank you for joining me on Be Well. I hope today's conversation inspires at least one simple way for you to support yourself. Before you step back into your day, pause and choose one uplifting action you can gift yourself. What's your one thing going to be? Remember, small, consistent steps create meaningful change. Until next time, take a breath, take care, and be well.